So about 6 months ago, as most of you know who follow my YouTube channel, I started using an XP Deus. And I just wanted to kind of document my journey so far through the first 6 months. Um, I haven't done any videos yet regarding settings or anything, and that's kind of what I wanted to go through today. This isn't going to be a real basic tutorial on your very first steps with the XP Deus, but I just want to talk about where I started and where I am today. And then I hope to do a video perhaps every 5 or 6 months. So this is part one, and then 5 or 6 months from now, after things have changed a little bit and I've had more time on the machine, I'll do a part two and perhaps a part three and a part four. But I wanted to talk about what settings I started with and kind of my first 6 month journey with this XP Deus. So to start with, obviously I made the change just simply because of the wireless technology, and I wanted to try this machine out because it's so lightweight. Many of the hunts that I go on are all-day adventures, and sometimes it's 2 hours or more to drive to some of the spots that I'm detecting at. So when I go out, it's not just for an hour or two. I want to spend at least half a day, 6 or 8 hours anyway, out detecting whenever I can. The Deus and the light weight of the Deus is what allows me to do that. So that's a huge factor in my choice to go with the XP Deus at this point in time. Obviously, it's a very extremely versatile machine. I did not expect it to be quite so versatile. I mean, you can set this thing up to hunt and punch real deep, and you can also set it up to be much more effective in the trash, in the iron, in an iron infested site. It's a very, very fast machine, which means the recovery speed on this machine as it moves from one target to another is stunning. It is unlike anything I've ever used before. Those of you who follow me will probably know I started with a Fisher F4 in this hobby. I moved fairly quickly to a Minelab E-Track and absolutely love that machine, still do today. Then I moved to a Fisher F44 and a Fisher F19, which are a little better in the trash than the Minelab E-Track. And now I've purchased this XP Deus, and I think I'm going to like this machine. I've spent 6 months on it now. But I want to talk a little bit about some of my settings that I use. I want to get down into the down and dirty part of this. So immediately when I got my Deus, I upgraded from the 3.2 that it came in to the 4.0. I didn't even want to mess around in 3.2. I wanted to go right away to the 4.0, which is a quick online upgrade. I then experimented with all the different programs, the stock programs that it comes with. The basic, I spent quite a bit of time in the basic one. GM Power is another one that I spent some time in. Deus Fast, I spent a little bit of time in this, but I need to spend more time with this one. Obviously, this is really good in an iron-infested site. Hunted a little bit in pitch, and Gmax not so much. I use deep quite a bit. In fact, some of the programs that I have right now are based off of the deep program. I think what I really found attractive to deep is that it was very similar to the sounds and settings on my Fisher F19. It's like a two-tone machine. You get the low ferrous tone and then a high tone on good targets, and that's it. Just those two tones, and I kind of set it up like I had my F19 set up, and that's what I started with. I started in deep because it was kind of a two-tone program, and it was used to, it was comfortable learning the machine in deep. Let's put it that way. And before I get into the settings too much, I just want to say, whenever you start with a new machine, no matter what it is, you've got to build yourself a coin garden. And for this machine, I took it out to my Civil War sites, which actually has real sandy soil, and I buried a penny at 10 inches. And I thought, all right, if I can get a penny at 10 inches, I should be able to pull any kind of bullets or buttons out inside of 10 inches. So I started experimenting with the deep program and started tweaking a few things, but I really can't stress the importance of setting up a coin garden in your soil. The settings that I'm going to show you might work and they might not for you, but your soil is different than anyone else's soil, and a lot of it depends upon the location. So keep that in mind, and again, I encourage you to bury a coin at 10 inches or a dime at 8 inches, whatever you've got, and just experiment. Start fussing with the different settings and seeing how things affect the signal that you're getting back from those objects. No matter what program you choose to run in, ground balance plays a critical role in how effective this machine is going to be. Now the default setting is fixed at 90, and that'll provide a real stable machine for you to run. But in the ground balance setting, you've got a couple of different choices. I choose to run it in manual, and again, it all depends on the soil that I'm in. But right now, that sandy, loamy soil, I run it right around 86. Sometimes I'll go down to 84, maybe up to 87, 88. But I rarely find myself at 90, which is the factory default. I think the lower you have that ground balance, the more sensitive your machine becomes, although it can get really chatty if you get it down too low. So it's something I keep an eye on, and I watch the ground balance indicator, and I try to stay 1 or 2 notches or 1 or 2 points below what the ground balance indicator is showing. A lot of guys are using the pumping method and some of the other methods that are available. I'll be experimenting with that a little bit as I move forward, but I have found this to be a very critical setting with the XP Deus ground balance. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the settings I've been using for the last couple of months here. Again, I started with just using the machine with the preset, the factory preset programs that it came with, and I really liked the Deep program the best. So I started with the Deep program, and I've made a few tweaks off of that, and I'll show you where I ended up here. I've called it my Tar Heel program. So I'm going to the menu here, and the frequency I like to run at 11.7. This is one of the things that I like to adjust from time to time as well. If my machine is chatting a lot, if I'm getting a lot of EMI in the area, I'll go ahead and bump that up to 17.4. That's one of the first troubleshooting techniques that I'll use to get rid of the chatter. Is I'll jump that up to 17.4 and see if that stabilizes the machine a little bit. Otherwise, I generally hunt an 11.7. I've run it at 8 kilohertz as well, and it does fine. It does fine there too. But 11.7 I think is kind of a real nice compromise for coin-sized targets, lead bullets, brass buttons, whatnot. So going on here, I have the iron volume set at 3 and the reactivity all the way down to 1. Going into the expert mode here, I've got the silencer at -1. So this will definitely make the machine a little more chatty, but it helps me punch quite a bit deeper, I believe. So silencer -1, reactivity at 1. Next down here is audio response. I've got that set at 5. I'm not notching anything out at this time. I've thought about notching up some of the 99 targets. A lot of guys are doing that with some success. I think that might help cut the chatting down on the machine quite a bit as well, but I'm going to experiment with that before I talk about it. Discrimination on this machine, you can run it all the way down to -6.4. This is something I'm still playing with. I haven't seen a lot of benefit in running it all the way down to 6.4, although I definitely want to keep it under 0. Right now, I've got it set at a -2.4, and it seems to be like a good compromise. I don't think it makes a lot of difference in depth once you're below 0. But you get into those areas where there's a lot of trash, and you've got an option here to jump that discrimination all the way up to 20 or 30 if you want, so you don't have to listen to all the nails. But for the most part, I want to hear everything. But again, right now I've got it set at -2.4, and you can go all the way down to -6.4 if you want. And let's see, what else have I got here? Sensitivity, very important part of it here. I start at 92 and then I make some adjustments from there. I like to run it up around 94, 95. I've even had it at 96 and it's not too sparky, but this is one thing that you can adjust. I don't like to go below 90. I think I start losing some depth if I get below 90. My TX power I've got at 3 on this, and this is the output from the coil, so it's very important. It will drain your battery a little faster, but I believe it helps me punch a little deeper to have that TX power set at 3. This is another thing that you can adjust. If your machine is too chatty or making way too much noise, if you're near a house or power lines, you can back that off to 1 or 2 if you need to. But I like to keep it at 3 if at all possible. So those are the settings really that I've been working with here on my Tar Heel program. I've hunted with this for the last couple of months and found some really nice buttons and bullets, and I'll keep tweaking it and let you know and give you updates along the way as to what I'm finding out. Like I said, I'm going to play with some of that notching and see what we can do with that. Other than that, that's about it, gang. I just wanted to throw this out there. Again, this is part 1. Hoping in a few more months I'll be I'll have enough information to do a part 2 and then maybe a part 3, part 4. But just wanted to show you where we were at here with these settings. A lot of you guys have been asking me, what settings are you using? How do you like the Deus? And I hope this video helps to answer some of those questions. But if you have any other questions, feel free to use the comment section below. I will answer each and every decent question that I get. And I want to wish everyone out there a lot of good luck and happy holidays. We've got the holidays coming up, just past Thanksgiving. So hopefully get out there and get some digging in down here in Georgia. This is the prime time now. Hunting season ends at the end of December, and I'm really looking forward to hitting it hard this winter. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.